Hello, my favorite first graders. It is Mrs. Douglas, and I am so glad that you are in our virtual classroom and that you have logged on to do some of your virtual activities this week. I am going to read you a story today, but before I read you a story, I just want to remind you guys of a few things. When you log on to your Google Classroom and you get to this link of the Padlet, Padlet is what this timeline is called, make sure that you are doing each square. You can go in the order that I post them. That's going to make sense to you. If you do the order and then you have to go to the bottom and comment your name at the end of doing each activity. Last week I had a few of you forget to comment your name, and so I didn't know that you did the work, and I want to give you the credit for doing that work. So at the end of the week, what I will do is tally up all your points, and I will give it to you on Class Dojo how many points you got. And at the end of the week, the next week, I count up your dojo points and you get pause tickets for every point you have. So we'll also have like a little special reward at the end of the week too for those kids that get all of their homework done and all of their virtual activities done. So you want to make sure you put your name on there so that Mrs. Douglas can give you credit and tell you good job and give you your reward in class for doing your virtual assignments. And I also told you guys last week, Mr. Bolander is having us teachers record who is doing their homework and who isn't. So you want to make Mr. Bolander proud of you too for showing him that you can get on in first grade and do your online assignments. That's big kid stuff. That's pretty cool stuff if you can get online as first grade and do your virtual homework. That's awesome. So make sure that you're commenting your name so that me and Mr. Bolander can both see that you have done your work. And also because it's going to make you feel good. If you can do your work, that's going to help your heart feel good, and it's going to help my teacher heart too. Be so proud of you. So this week, I want us to really focus on is just trying our best and taking pride in our work. Okay. So I know school has been crazy already, and we have learned so much in those few days that you have came. And I know that our school days are super long this year, and we have learned a lot of information. Your little brains are probably ready to explode at the end of the day. So is mine. But I am just wanting you to really focus on this week being proud of yourself. When you leave school, I want you to know that you did your best in your heart, and I want you to think about that and think, did you try your best? Did you do everything you could do? And if you did, then go home and relax and be proud of yourself. I've been trying really hard to not post things on the online assignments that's going to really be hard for you. More of like a review or a practice of the skills that we've been doing at school so that on your off days, not in my classroom, you can just keep those things fresh in your brain. Okay, I don't want to give you anything new online. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed when you're online. Okay, it should not take you that long to do the online things I post. It's more just practice and review of the skills we already are working on or the things you already know. Okay, so this week we will be starting our new reading curriculum, and we're also going to be starting sight words. So in first grade, we learn 10 sight words a week. So that is 300 for the whole year. And some of the words you already learned in kindergarten and you probably already know. But we're going to review 10 a week, and I will send those lists home with you. And you will get, I also put a picture of them on our virtual assignments too, of those 10 words. So this week I want you to focus on working on sight words and learning how to get that procedure down. And I want you to work on being proud of yourself when you're at school. If you do homework at home, make sure you post your name because you should be proud of yourself that you completed that task. I want to be proud of you and I want to celebrate with you. That is what I'm here for, is to encourage you and support you and celebrate all of those good things you're going to do this year. So make sure that you're letting me know when you've done them, and make sure that when you leave school that you are proud of yourself and you ask yourself every day if you've tried your best. And if you did, then you deserve a celebration in your heart, okay? I'm going to read you a story now today, and this story is called Sheila Ray the Brave. Sheila Ray the Brave is by Kevin Henkes, and that is the same author that wrote our story Chrysanthemum that we read the first week of school. You guys loved the story Chrysanthemum, so I thought I would pull out Sheila Ray the Brave and see if you guys like that story as well. And if you look, the illustrations are very similar to the story Chrysanthemum. The mouse is the same looking, it's the same illustrator as Chrysanthemum. This story says Sheila Ray wasn't afraid of anything. So Sheila Ray was very brave. Okay, let me turn it so you guys can see. All right. Sheila Ray wasn't afraid of anything. She wasn't afraid of the dark. She wasn't afraid of thunder and lightning. And she wasn't afraid of the big black dog at the end of the block. At dinner, Sheila Ray made believe that the cherries in her fruit cocktail were the eyes of dead bears, and she ate 5 of them. At school, Sheila Ray giggled when the principal walked by. And when her classmate Wendell stole her jump rope during recess, Sheila Ray tied him up until the bell rang. "I am very brave," Sheila Ray said, patting herself on the back. So she is proud of herself for being brave and not afraid of things. Sheila Ray stepped on every crack in the sidewalk without any fear. When her sister Louise said there was a monster in the closet, Sheila Ray attacked it. And she rode her bicycle no-handed with her eyes closed. "Yeah, yeah, Sheila Ray," her friends yelled, clapping their hands. One day, Sheila Ray decided to walk home from school a new way. One day, Sheila Ray decided to walk home from school a new way. Louise was afraid too. "You're too brave for me," Louise said. "You're always such a scaredy cat," Sheila Ray called. "Am not," whispered Louise. Sheila Ray started off skipping. "I am brave," she sang. "I am fearless." She stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed. Pages are sticking together. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. And she pretended that the trees were evil creatures. She climbed up them and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila Ray walked and walked. She turned corners. She crossed streets. It suddenly occurred to Sheila Ray that nothing looked familiar. Familiar is a big word. Familiar means that things you've seen before or something you might recognize. So because she went this new way, everything around her looked different. She didn't recognize where she was. It didn't look familiar. Sheila Ray heard frightening noises. They sounded worse than thunder. She thought horrible thoughts. They were worse than anything she had ever imagined. "I am brave," Sheila Ray tried to convince herself. "I am fearless." She's starting to get a little bit nervous and a little bit scared. She's trying to tell herself she's not, but she's getting scared. The sounds became more frightening. The thoughts became more horrible. Sheila Ray sat down on a rock and cried. "Help!" she sniffed. She thought of her mother and her father and Louise. "Mother, Father, Louise," she cried. "Here I am," a voice said. "Louise!" Sheila Ray hugged her sister. "We're lost," Sheila Ray said. "No, we're not," said Louise. "I know the way home. Follow me." So Louise was following her the whole time. Louise stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed. She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. And she pretended the trees were evil creatures. She jumped up and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila Ray walked quietly behind her. They walked and walked. They crossed streets. They turned corners. Soon, their house could be seen between the trees. Sheila Ray grabbed Louise and dashed up the street. When they reached their own yard and the gate was closed behind them, Sheila Ray said, "Louise, you are brave. You are fearless." So Sheila Ray the Brave is proud of her sister for being so brave. We both are, said Louise, and they walked backwards into the house with their eyes closed. So that was a good book about being brave. We talked about a lot of different feelings this week when Mrs. White and Mrs. Todd came in and did our lesson for our social emotional learning curriculum, and they were talking about different feelings that you have. So now that you're done watching this story, I want you to think, and maybe if you're watching this with one of your parents or a babysitter or a grandparent or a sibling, I want you to discuss with them, talk with them about something that you have done that has made you feel brave. And it can be something at school, something at home. It can be something a long time ago, or it could be something you did yesterday or this morning, okay? Think of something that you did that was brave and made you feel brave and that you were proud of yourself for doing because you were brave, okay? Don't forget to comment your name and continue to do all these activities. You have the rest of the week. You have from Friday the 11th till Friday the 18th. To do these online lessons. I will see you guys in school. Keep smiling and be proud of yourself.